Welcome back, everyone, again for podcast number 17 of the Lil Rhody Sports Talk. I am Aaron. We got our co-host over here, Mr. Kyle. This video, like we said in the previous one, we're going to talk about the rookie quarterbacks who were drafted, mainly just the top 5. We might go into like Kyle Trask a little bit, but mostly Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, and Zack Wilson. So we're going to go into that, but obviously, before we go into the video, we're going to go right into our sponsor, Mr. Anthony's Jewelers over here. The link is on top. As you guys can see, just anthonysjewelers.com. Get straight to the point. Get right into the website. They got their phone number right in the big red, white letters, right in the bottom right. Go into book appointment. You pick what you want, what you're going to go to Anthony's Jewelers for. Click on it. Make your appointment. Very simple. Put your name in, email, phone number. You get your appointment. Very easy to do, I promise. Wouldn't lie to you. But yeah, we're going to go right into our topic on today's video. We're going to start with Mr. Trevor Lawrence. I'll let Kyle take it away on the first guy here.
Well, with Trevor Lawrence, he simply never lost in college. He lost 1 or 2 games in his total college career. That says a lot about him.
Yep.
But only the issue, though, is he got picked by the Jaguars. So now this man's going to be experiencing losing for a long while, unless he somehow finds a way to get out of there. But I highly doubt that, because I know the Jacksonville Jaguars will pay him whatever amount of money they need to in order for him to stay there. They'll give him hundreds of millions, whatever they got to do, because he has special abilities. Biggest thing is now they have to try to convince wide receivers and offensive linemen and stuff to come down and say, hey, can you protect Trevor? If they give him exactly what they want, if exactly what Trevor wants, a lot of magic can happen. He knows how to do it. We've seen it in his 3 years of being a college athlete. There's a reason why he won a national championship.
Yep. I mean, you hit everything right on the nose. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is just – there's everything to him. He's got a little bit of run in his game. He can be a mobile quarterback if you need him to, which is the NFL is trending towards that direction. The Jaguars are giving him a very good receiving core to start off rip. They're giving him Marvin Jones. They're giving him DJ Chark. They're giving him Laviska Shenault. They're going to give him James Robinson and Travis and Etienne out the backfield. So they're going to have a good run game. They're going to have a good receiver core. You know, they're a little siffy at tight end, but I mean, who knows? We might run out Tim Tebow week 1. Apparently, Tim Tebow wants to be a tight end for the Jaguars, but we'll see how that goes. But and then now they have I think the most underrated part about Trevor Lawrence being picked first is now that he's under a college coach. Technically, Urban Meyer is, like you were saying, like Urban Meyer is the most underrated part of this whole Trevor Lawrence draft pick, because he gets to go right into an offense that's going to be very surrounded by how he was successful in college. There's not going to be much of a change. You know, you go to a Bill Belichick-led offense, there's a very specific standard you need to do as a quarterback there. You know, if you were as good as Tom Brady or whatever. But
and if you don't fit in, you get kicked right out. The Bill does not care.
Exactly. Well, Trevor Lawrence is going to get some sort of leniency as well for a couple years. I mean, hey, Daniel Jones is still a starting quarterback for the Giants, and look what he's doing his whole career. Same thing, Sam Darnold. But yeah, like we were saying, he fits the mold. I mean, the Jaguars, are they going to be fantastic year 1? Who knows, honestly. This team has the ability to be very good offensively. Big mystery on defense. We don't know what's going to go on there. But yeah, I mean, he's
well, especially because how wide open the AFC South is, especially now that Texans are out of the picture with the Deshaun Watson situation. Colts are kind of now iffy now that Philip Rivers isn't the quarterback. I'd probably say it comes down between Tennessee and the Jaguars. I'd probably say Tennessee might take it this division this year, but next year that's truly going to be like we're not 100% sure Tennessee's got this. It's going to be between Jacksonville and Tennessee, 50-50 shot.
Yeah, and what people need to realize is that Tennessee kind of got worse, especially for that division, because they went out and lost Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis and really didn't replace them. So, I mean, you still got A.J. Brown, you still going to have Derrick Henry and Tannehill, but, that's 15 to 20 receiving touchdowns there, 1,500 yards. Like, you're missing a lot in that offense now.
Yeah,
So
they can only do so much.
yeah, but yeah. So we don't go off topic too much. We're gonna move on to Justin Fields, which I think is a very intriguing pick. He ended up going 11th to the Bears. The Bears were in a situation, I guess they definitely need a future quarterback, so it makes sense for them to move up and get Justin Fields. The only thing that sucks with Justin Fields' situation is that they've given basically, I think, around $20 million guaranteed to Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. Now, I know that both those guys are not better than Justin Fields. I understand that. But as a GM, it's very difficult for you to give $20 million to a specific core and then take it away. So sadly, Andy Dalton's going to be starting week 1 for your Chicago Bears. So
I'm going to be praying for Chicago. Oh my God. I thought Mitchell Trubisky was bad for that team. Oh boy. It's gonna be really interesting to watch. But yeah, unfortunately, we're right now Justin Fields is in the 3 hole of quarterbacks. He's right now their least important, like in terms of like getting him out on the field. You want to get him through the motions and stuff. So it's a good thing that they have depth and experience in the quarterback position. The Justin Fields can learn a lot from Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, especially from Nick Foles, I believe, because Nick Foles went through the same situation of being a second stringer and then getting called up in a big moment in the playoffs, going undefeated into the Super Bowl and winning that. I think Nick Foles can really give Justin Fields a lot to learn about. Andy Dalton, not so much, because Andy Dalton was only like a good regular season quarterback, and then correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's ever won a playoff game. I don't think Andy Dalton's ever won a playoff game.
He was part of the Marvin Lewis type Bengals team that was always fringe playoff, always lost first round type team. Like he was always part of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about, if you want to learn about regular season, how to load manage yourself and all that stuff, then yeah, Andy Dalton's your guy to talk to. But every team's goal is to make it to the Super Bowl, and Nick Foles did it correctly to where he was able to win. I would get most of my learnings and advice from Nick Foles. I think they're going to become really close, and I think Andy Dalton's going to become isolated. I think it might become very toxic in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, for the stats. Now, people have to remember, though, down here, it was a shortened season for Ohio State's conference. So take it with a grain of salt. 1,900 passing yards, 73% completion rate, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, 21-6. So that's like a 3.5 to 1. 3.5 to 1.
Almost 2,000 yards in 6 games. Like, that's good. That's really good.
Yep. And he also ran for 5 touchdowns. So people have to take that as well. Another thing, quickly, I did on our TikTok page, Lil Rhody Sports Talk, same thing as YouTube, like I always say, I did a poll. I did who is going to have a better career. Now, this just goes by career. They could leave teams, whatever. Just overall, pretend it's like Madden franchise. You know what I mean? So, 102 people voted, and this was 2 days ago. 102 people voted. 60 people picked Trevor Lawrence, and 42 people picked Justin Fields. So it wasn't, for the TikTok viewers, it wasn't that close. And I also did another poll as well. We're going to get to that next. I did a poll between Trey Lance and Zack Wilson, because I think it's pretty clear that the top 2 quarterbacks, in my eyes at least, are Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. And then after that, it's Zack Wilson and Trey Lance. So I did those 4. We'll get into that next. But yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to be a very good pick for the Bears. Also have to talk about what's around him. He's going to have Allen Robinson as his number 1 receiver. He's going to have Darnell Mooney, who broke out last year, who I think was a late round pick, 5th, 6th round. David Montgomery broke out last year as a top tier running back. He had a bunch of yards, showed that he's eligible in the receiving game as well. Tariq Cohen, their receiving back, is coming back from injury after 20 ACL. And they have Cole Kmet at tight end still. So, I mean, he's going into his 2nd year, who shows a progression with Jimmy Graham as well. So they have a very deep team. If Justin Fields is used year 1, he's going to have a good offense. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes out and gives you Rookie of the Year consideration. But now we're going to move on to our next quarterback, Mr. Overrated himself. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say Zack Wilson. I'll start off quick because I don't have much to say about Zack Wilson. I just don't really like him that much. He had statistically, obviously, he was very good in college. I just don't think it's going to translate, and especially every type of quarterback that comes out with the standard of Zack Wilson that has gone to the Jets in recent history, the past two, have not been good. Mark Sanchez did his thing, but he was never elite. But he did his thing. He was a game manager type guy. Same thing, Sam Darnold. Guess what? Sam Darnold came in. Yeah, it wasn't really that good. You can blame it on the coaching staff all you want. Go for it. But he never showed you anything to make it the coaching staff's issue as well. So I think Zack Wilson fits the same mold. He's going to come in. They're going to give him offense. He's not going to do as well. I hope he makes me bite my words as a Patriots fan. I don't want it to happen. I want him to stink. But we're going to hope he's good. For fantasy purposes, at least, for the people across the world, all Jets fans, because they might burn the world down if they have another quarterback who stinks. But I'll let you get into it. Obviously, I've been negative about it, but maybe you could bring some positive into it, Kyle. It's hard.
It's a difficult situation with the Jets, though, is because when I watched them last year, it really looked like they really despised their ownership. Because here's the thing, though. You go 0-14, and then all of a sudden with the last two games you want to win and ruin your chances at getting Trevor Lawrence. It's truly a weird situation. You literally just had to lose two more games, and then you have the number one quarterback from this class. And said now you get Zack Wilson. It's like the teammates and the ownership go back and forth trying to one up each other. It's such a weird relationship.
Yeah.
But the thing though is with the Jets though, the past two quarterbacks that they've had, like Mark Sanchez and Sam Darnold, they're both known for being on the blooper highlight reel.
And don't forget Geno Smith, that absolute stud of a quarterback they also got as well.
No, nobody's not thinking about no Geno Smith. Stop it. Nobody's thinking about no Geno Smith.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure Geno Smith was very good and fit the same mold as Zack Wilson coming out of quarterback. But what else is new? But yeah, I mean, if you guys look, I highlighted down here, you put up insane stats. 30 touchdowns to 3 picks. So that's a 10-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, which is great. 73% completion percentage. Also added 8 rushing touchdowns. He has every type of statistic coming out of college that makes him look really good. It's just every mold that comes out and that goes to the Jets, they all stink. Eventually, one of them is going to be good, but I don't know if it'll be Zack Wilson.
And when's that going to happen?
Never.
When pigs start flying?
Yes, basically. That's just me. I'm also a Patriots fan. You have to take my opinion with a grain of salt. I try not to be biased, but I hate the Jets. Can't stand the Jets. Can't stand their fans. There's a very select couple of fans that are competent and normal with how we talk to each other, which is perfect. But I expect Jets fans, they're very into the team. They want to be good again. But unfortunately, I don't think Zack Wilson's going to be your savior. I think they made a mistake. Justin Fields should have been the second pick. Justin Fields has more talent. He went to a better college. He showed it on a bigger stage. That's just
Zack Wilson, he has the statistics, though. It's just him going to the Jets is just such a turnoff for me. Because he's basically just going to be left all alone out there. Like, they're going to think like he's going to be Superman and stuff like that when he's basically like on just like a semi-pro league for football. It's so sad. I'm going to pray for Zack Wilson. If you do watch this, I'm praying for you every night. I'm praying for you.
I mean, we could tag Zack Wilson in here if he wants to come join the podcast. He's welcome. We'll talk to him. Like I said, I think he's very talented. His opinion. I think he's very talented, but take it with a grain of salt. Every quarterback like this that's gone to the Jets has sucked. Now, if Zack Wilson went to another team, like if Zack Wilson went to the 49ers, third pick, I would have way more enthusiasm with it based off the fact that they have a better offense and a better offensive coach. Robert Saleh is a great head coach. Well, great coach. We don't know if he's a great head coach yet. But they are in the correct direction. But move on from Zack Wilson. We're going to move on to some positivity here. I'm a big fan of Mr. Trey Lance himself. I do think that he is a project, though, which is okay because the 49ers situation at quarterback is not bad. The Jets needed one. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars needed one. So that's fine. In this situation, Jimmy G is still the quarterback of the 49ers, so it's not bad. People forget they just went to the Super Bowl when they were healthy. So that's okay. Jimmy G still, I think, got another 2 years left on his contract. This guy is going to come in. He's only 20 years old. It's very rare to see a 20-year-old college player come into the NFL because usually it's 22, 23. He's just a stud. We don't really get to see some of his stats. Some of his stats are right down here if you guys are interested. But last year he sat out. I think he played the first game of the season, but then I think he sat out because of COVID. Which is fine. Perfectly fine, but that's what puts him a little bit at odds. We didn't get to see 2020 Trey Lance. We know 2019 Trey Lance was a stud. 28 touchdowns, no picks, ran for 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. 42 total touchdowns, no interceptions, gave you 3,800 total yards. Division 2, granted, Division 2, but Carson Wentz did go there, and Carson Wentz has had NFL success, so there's no reason that Trey Lance can't come in and have quarterback success. But I know Kyle, not the biggest fan of Trey Lance. We'll let him add his side to it.
I was doing this because you said Carson Wentz has had success.
He's had success. He's shown it when he's had competent. Let's put it this way: when Carson Wentz had competent coaches and a receiving core, Carson Wentz was good.
And when his body's also not falling apart like a Mr. Potato doll.
Yes, just like a Mr. Potato doll.
So, about Trey, again, only played one game in the 2020 year or season, however you want to word it. It's just that he played in like the B League of D1 college football, and he just hasn't really played it all within the last year. So that's the reason why, like, I'm kind of skeptical of him. It's just because, like, for like a good 6 months when regular college football was on and like he wasn't playing, we kind of forgot he existed up until when the draft started becoming a relevant topic. So unless he's been constantly been training this whole time and just like he hasn't been getting any attention, I expect him to do usually what he's going to do. He will lose games. He will have his perfect record tarnished, unfortunately, of career starts. But he can definitely make a good impact if he just keeps his body healthy and is just really smart as a player.
Just to put it in a comparison to maybe people who don't know Trey Lance as well, I think that a nice player comp from him is kind of like he's like a taller version of Kyler Murray, or he's a nice and then like his ceiling is Kyler Murray type play, where he's a good runner, strong arm, super quick. Or his floor is like a Marcus Mariota type. I'm talking about NFL Marcus Mariota, not like college, because we all saw college Marcus Mariota was a machine. But I think he's going to be a nice in-between type guy like that, where he can run the ball, move the sticks, but also he has a massive arm. It's just a matter of can he catch up to NFL type readiness? Because, he played D2 and then also sat out a year. So he's, granted, he was training with a bunch of NFL players and stuff like that during that time, but it's a difference between training and then playing on Sunday. But if he is starting this year, I will say he's going to come into a situation with a very deep running back core. We don't really know who the starter is, but they got Trey Sermon, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. One of those guys is going to be a starter. But he's going to have Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle. So, he's going to have a really good core if he's a starter. So,
and if anything, he can just use his own legs to get the ball up the field.
Exactly. And I think what's underrated is that since he's a mobile quarterback, it's good to have receivers like Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel who are known for being quicker possession receivers. It's like Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. It's like you want Lamar Jackson to have speedster guys, but possession receivers. So he has Marquise Brown over there. They went out and got Bateman. They got Mark Andrews. So it's like they're going to run that same similar type offense with the 49ers when he takes over at quarterback. But yeah, I think overall, Kyle is in a position. I think he's kind of neutral. It was a little of a high of a pick. He got third pick. The 49ers gave up 1 million picks to move up to 3, so they better hope Trey Lance works. If not, they look really stupid. I like Trey Lance's upside, but that's just me. And then moving on to actually quickly before I move on, same thing. I did a TikTok poll who is going to have a better career between Zack Wilson and Trey Lance. This one we had 85 votes. 59 people picked Trey Lance. 26 people picked Zack Wilson. So very clearly, they agree with us. The TikTok viewers and YouTube viewers, whoever it is, they agree with us. We did not do a poll for Mac Jones because, as a Patriots fan, I don't think anyone really knows what is Mac Jones. Like, I'll let you start, Kyle, because as Patriots fans, it's like, obviously as a biased fan, I want Mac Jones to be the best quarterback in the draft. Do I have very high hopes? Not really. But I do like the idea of what he could bring to a team. But I'll let Kyle start on Mac Jones.
He is certainly an interesting character. I mean, you can't deny the fact that he's a two-time national champion. He had 4,000 yards last year, 77% completion, 36-4, and with the one rushing touchdown. So 37.
Russian machine.
Yeah. I just hope that he can learn a lot from Cam Newton. I think he can be a little more mobile. He just needs to, gain a little bit of confidence and take a little bit of risk. I think he can definitely learn that with that under Cam Newton, because it's just what the league is turning to nowadays. Like, you don't really see, because, there's going to be a day when Tom Brady retires. You're just not going to see like stationary QBs that just stay in the pocket. You got to have the ability to like show some flair and stuff. So if Mac Jones is able to add that to his repertoire, because he's a very accurate passer and he can get it done. If he just adds his mobility to that, Mac Jones can do a lot of damage, especially with what the Patriots did in the offseason this year.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like, just to get into specifics, I mean, if Mac Jones ends up being starter week 1, I don't think he will, but I think it's still Cam Newton's job to lose, unfortunately. I'm not the biggest Cam Newton fan, but I hope he makes me eat my words because I'm a Patriots fan. But I think that if Mac Jones becomes the starter, same thing. He's going to roll into an offense that has gotten a lot of upgrades. They've re-signed David Andrews. They went out and traded for Trent Brown back, who was really good for us in our Super Bowl run a couple years ago. They went out and got Nelson Agholor and Kendrick Bourne. I know it's not the best receiver names, but anything's better than watching N'Keal Harry try to be a number 1 or number 2 receiver. Julian Edelman retired, but he hasn't really shown much in over almost 2 years now because of knee injury. But this year you should have a better run game because you have upgraded your line. And, he's going to walk into a situation where he's going to have Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry as 2 good possession tight ends, good red zone threats as well. Mac Jones is known for being an accurate quarterback. Now, the one question is, now we saw Mac Jones have Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and Najee Harris. So he's not going to get that type of massive, really stud connection in New England. Like, Nelson Agholor can play Waddle type, but Nelson Agholor is not that great compared to Jalen Waddle. Devontae Smith, who's a more possession receiver, but who's so good. He's just nasty receiver. Kendrick Bourne or Jacoby Myers is going to play that role, but it's not the same. Obviously, it's not even close. So that's the big difference. The talent at receiver is a downgrade, but the talent at tight end is an upgrade. So
it kind of like cancels each other out.
It cancels out, but I think the big question mark, like everybody was saying, is how is he going to go from an offense that was so dominant and so these receivers were always open, making it easier for him? How is it going to be when he's going into a system right away, maybe first year, second year, where his receivers are not top notch? Like, the Patriots don't have a number 1 receiver. Our number 1 receiver is going to be Nelson Agholor. He's going to put up some production, but he's not a number 1. He should be a number 3, number 2 maybe. So, think of the situation Zack Wilson gets, where he's going to go get Denzel Mims, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore. Think about Trevor Lawrence. He's going to get 3 top receivers and 2 good running backs. Trey Lance is going to get 2 good receivers and a top tight end. Justin Fields gets 2 good receivers, an up-and-coming tight end, a good running game. So it's like Mac Jones is probably on the list, the worst list of offense. So it's interesting to see if he's going to get chances this year. But yeah, I mean, statistically, he's very good. Just there's not much else to say about it. It's just he's a big question mark. I like the pick at 15. I like that we needed a quarterback for the future. I keep saying we. I'm not a Patriot, but you just go with it.
It's in spirit.
Yeah, well, I'm there in spirit. I went to a game, okay? Basically an assistant coach. So, but yeah, that's just me. I don't know. He's kind of like, he's exactly where he should be. He's the 5th best quarterback in a draft that was deep at quarterbacks. But he's going to be in the best system of the 5. At the end of the day, he's going to have the best coach, best offensive coordinator of the 5, just not as much talent on the offense. But that the Patriots will always give opportunities. They have a great defense. So, see how that goes.
Especially now with everyone that passed on last year coming back.
Yep.
This Patriots seems about to be making a whole lot of noise. And Bills fans, y'all better be ready. It ain't going to be as easy to get the AFC East this year.
Yeah, we'll be doing the ones that jump through the tables for you, Bills fans. But yeah, I think that pretty much takes care of what we wanted to talk about in this video. We wanted to go more in depth on the quarterbacks, especially if you guys like the quarterbacks, we could maybe do a couple other videos on like the running back core, receiver core, tight end, same thing. Honestly, we can go through the positions if you guys want us to, but we want you guys to let us know. We want more interaction from our viewers, whether that's through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of the things. Our link tree is in our Instagram page. Go to whatever you guys want to listen to. We're not forcing you to do it, but we would love to see it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of today's video. And like I was saying in the beginning part, we got Anthony's Jewelers. Phone number is right here. Book appointments down here with all 6 of your options you want to go through. Very easy appointment making. And if not, if you're okay with not calling or making an appointment in person, you can log in, make your own account, and put whatever you want in here because everything's over here to the left in all their categories. So, like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe to the page. Any last comments, Mr. Kyle Finn?
I would just like to apologize to Kyle Trask. We certainly did not have enough time to get to him. We'll try to get him in next time.
Yeah. You know what? We could just fit him in right now. He's gonna be a glorified backup quarterback the rest of his career. Okay, that's the end of it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. You know what? We need to talk about the next video. We need to talk about Ian Book. Obviously, he's the 6th best quarterback. That's an internal joke. Notre Dame fan, he's probably gonna stink too. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoy. Go to Anthony's Jewelers, buy some jewelry. Tell him he came from us. Thank you. Have a good night.